Yo, what's up guys, Untitled here back with another video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys another offensive scheme in Madden 22. And today we're going to be using the Tennessee Titans, using Derrick Henry in honor of his return, which will happen on Saturday. So we're going to be using Tennessee. It's going to be a run scheme. What better scheme to use with Tennessee than a run scheme? And we're going to be in a unique formation, unique playbook. We're going to be in the pistol playbook, in the pistol wide trips formation, which is only in this playbook. So very exclusive stuff. This is a pretty cool formation. I always like using these types of formations that you've never seen before and that can actually be pretty dang good. So just taking a look at some of the plays that we have that we like. We have, just for the running plays, you have a counter, you have a read option, draw, strong power. There's a halfback slam on the left that we will definitely use, and then stretch in like a screen. A couple of good passing plays as well. Now the main plays I like in this formation are going to be strong power, the halfback, not the halfback counter. We are going to replace that with the halfback dive, the halfback slam, and then smash and curls. There's a couple of other pass plays we'll talk about, and that will include this PA counter waggle on that right side. But yeah, man, really good scheme. Of course, we're going to be using no abilities, but you can definitely expand this with things like hot route master or slot apprentices that you might use, wide receiver apprentices and whatnot. But without further ado, let's jump straight into it. All right, man, we're going to start out with the runs. This is a very good run formation. Again, it can definitely be very high-powered in the passing game as well, but we're going to start out with these run plays, with the strong power, with the slam. Let me know if you guys want to see this in the gameplay as well. I can definitely bring that in addition to this. We're going to start out with the strong power. I definitely like strong power. There's a stretch in this formation as well. You could run that stretch if you like that a little bit better, but I like the power. You get these two pulling guards, which terrible stick work there, but with this strong power run, you get two pulling guards, which is definitely going to help. You have that left guard and the right guard, or maybe that, yeah, left guard and the right guard. And you see you can just really easily get to the outside and just look at us go right there to the outside. It's going to take a lot of stick work on this. You can go either outside or inside as well. So it just comes down to personal preference. You see you could cut it back. I would recommend going to the outside probably, but also in this run, you want to be a little bit patient, showcase some of your patience as a runner. Not too patient as we were on that first one, but you see, just let the blocks develop a little bit. A good way to let the blocks develop is to go to the outside. If you are planning on cutting it inside, that's when you want to slow up a little bit. For example, kind of slow up, let the blocks develop, but you see, it just depends on how everything goes. When you have like the left guard and the right guard both moving to that left side, it becomes a little bit more difficult to cut it back to the inside, and that's generally when you're going to want to cut it outside. So another thing you can do is kind of take that outside lane and then go back inside the way we did there. You don't necessarily have to continue going outside, but just some recommended stuff there. Now we can also flip this run if you needed to. It just depends on what the defense is like. You can incorporate some motion. I love using motion in this formation. You'll see it a lot more in the passing game, but there you see right there, just able to pick up so many yards on there. I have no idea what happened there. That's Madden for you. There's also a really good motion that I like in this wide trips, and it's kind of to motion this guy inside. You'll see that a lot with the passing game. It doesn't work in the run game, but you'll see that later in the passing game, and it's really, really cool. So the motion is going to be something that you can create a lot of unique route combinations with, but we'll show it one more time. And again, kind of stop and go. Of course, use that stiff arm, technique to make those guys miss in the situation that you get bad blocking. But let's move on to our next run, which will be the slam. Now, what you might ask, why slam instead of read option? Now, I like this slam a lot better. I want you to take a look at Ryan Tannehill's handoff technique in this, and he's going to do that little flip around. I like that a lot. I like the way it looks. That first of all, some people, if you really like the play design, all this stuff, which is probably why you watch my videos, you probably like this, and I think it's cool. I love the way he hands this off, and I know that kind of sounds weird. You see, of course, when you hand it off to Tannehill's strong side, it's just a normal handoff, but I do like the way that looks a little bit more than just a standard read option. So you see when you flip it to this side, it's going to be standard stuff, but if you're able to, of course, run it to that opposite side, it's going to be a little bit better. Now, I think stock, the way it is ran, is to this side, so generally you will just flip it, and I would probably recommend running it to this side. The handoff is the same, but it just gives you a lot, larger chances. Derrick Henry is so good in this game. It gives you a higher chance to get to that outside Whereas you run this to the right side, the cutback's going to be more difficult, said simple. So again, if I wanted to, let's say, get some better blocking up the middle or something, we're just trying to get like a yard. We want to block up the middle, we can go with this and really just push ourselves up the middle, take away any opportunity for maybe a slot corner or a safety that is down there to, go ahead and just get off that edge and actually tackle you, which shouldn't really happen because it's a pretty quick handoff, but I probably would recommend not running straight up the gut. I don't think that's a high IQ move in this game, but you can go through the middle and get to the outside a little bit here, kind of the way we're doing there. We did get shedded, but that kind of idea behind your run stick and what you're actually doing. So these are just my two favorite runs. I'll run these the majority of the time, but you still have things like counters that you'll mix in opportunistically and some other things that you can do. So again, you can incorporate motion, but then hey, maybe we're still running it to this side, and make sure you get a workhorse running back in Ultimate Team. Those guys like Fred Taylor, some other guys, Adrian Peterson, really good in this game. So make sure you pick up yourselves a really good runner. That doesn't necessarily have to be the best pass catcher, but someone who's going to break tackles and fall forward, because this is a heavy pistol running scheme. So just make it a little bit more realistic. All right, that's going to take us to our passing plays, starting out with this smash play. I like this play a lot with some of the route combos that you can create. Just taking a look at the routes you have stock. You have a nice corner route. I like this route. You have a hitch on the outside. And one concept that we're going to use a lot is going to be the wheel route. So we're going to go to the wheel a lot out of pistol. It's kind of the same as single back, where he's right behind you, so you can use that wheel route a lot better than you can in gun sets. So we're going to go ahead and start out with a basic route combination that I personally am a fan of. And we're just going to go ahead, put X on an out route, and put Y on a little option. So we're going to go option, we're going to go out, we're going to motion A.J. Brown in, and then kind of have him like this. This is a really good job of opening up that out route for you, whereas when he's in a hitch, the odds of you throwing it, catching it, and then running up the field are slim. But when you use this out route motion in concept, he is a lot more likely to be able to, catch the ball and run up the field and pick up 7 yards. So that's our, and you can leave Henry on his little route if you want. It's pretty much an option route. With A, you could also put him on a regular streak if you want to. And then Julio, I mean, it's whatever you want. You can go a little in route. You can create your own smart routed in route. You could just leave him on a curl, whatever. But also, I do like to smart route Chester Rogers in the slot there. But you're just going to motion him in, snap it right about here, and you see the curl flat's immediately going to run up the field deep. So even if you're like late on that read, like we were right there, you see he's still going to be opened up. And you can still throw that at really any time that you want. If you really wanted to open up Chester Rogers, I would say that your best bet is going to be streak in this scenario, and then maybe what you do is, maybe A on a flat, something like this could be your best bet. I think you can actually motion Chester Rogers in like this if you really wanted to open him up, and you see how he really does get open in that spot. Now, it does take a while to develop. These motion cuts, they take a while, so keep that in mind when you're using them, because you saw how long it took. So that might be an idea of, let's block our tight end now, and let's block Derrick Henry. Let's try and maybe roll out and open that up potentially. So again, we'll smart out Rogers, motion him in, snap it, see if Henry picks up the block, which he does not, but you can still kind of roll out and throw it, which you get a good idea of right there. So definitely a throwable ball with that smash play. Another thing that you can actually do is turn them into a post route, which is something that I have done before. Go with a little concept like this. I'm not sure what you would do, but maybe something like this with the wheel route, and then with A or B, you go a little curl. So this concept would be pretty good. You got a little wheel. You have RB who does get open. Our offensive line is getting destroyed right now, but I'll show that route combo again because that wasn't really clear. So you're going to curl B, drag A, wheel Y, smoke screen X, and then you're actually going to motion RB over. You can also, again, smart out RB, but here's your combo. I probably would like this a little bit more on the motion snap, but it's perfectly fine letting him get set. But yeah, here's a look at your combination. We saw RB get open on that play. Now you can check it down to Henry, and I'm not the hugest fan of that smoke screen, so if you actually don't want to use the smoke screen, which I don't know why I said that, you can go out route, which is going to be a little bit better. So sorry about that, but same combo here. You see, snap it And now you see the wheel route's a little bit more open. You can throw that tight end drag. You can also even run this from the short side of the field. It should still work. So just going into like one more thing that you can maybe do is actually go with like RB on a flat, maybe X on a slant, and then B on a little streak. I'm not sure what you would do. Maybe curl him. But you could just kind of also drag X, just use a little motion, drag him, get a little bit in a different spot, but just utilize that motion. If you actually have wide receiver apprentice initially when you motion this guy, so you're gonna motion him and then you can put him on like a crosser and then you can snap it. So that's something that you can actually do. And you see the draw play that I ran right there. Draws can actually be good in this formation as well. So again, for example, let's say I had outside or wide receiver apprentice on AJ Brown, but I want to get him on a crosser. So I'm just going to run a passing play. I'm actually going to motion him, put him on that D-pad up, and then snap it, and then he would run a crosser for me, which, again, I can't really show right now because we don't have that ability, but that is something you can do to create a little bit better route combinations. With that being said, let's move into the curls play, and the curls play is going to be a really good play. This is my favorite combination out of it. Going back to the wheel route, you have a drag, and you're not going to pass as much as you might want to. I would say run the ball more. Just try and run the ball first, second down, and then get yourself in shorter passing situations where you're not going to have to attack the field down super deep, but to where you can throw these shorter passes, and then initially you can, and then later you can go, over the top. So you can kind of roll out here. I thought Tannehill would be faster than that. I didn't know he was that slow, which he's not in real life, but it's EA, so who am I kidding? But let's say you want to block your running back. This is a good route combo to go to. I just like be on a little in route. This is a combo I like out of Y off trio gun, Y off trio weak. Really good combo out of that. You have a curl, you have a flat, and then you have your post and basic in route. So standard stuff. And again, if I wanted to, you can always throw Henry on like a little out route over here, and you see he's always going to be open. But as far as that post route, if you have Hot Route Master, the scheme's probably going to be a little bit better because you can just go ahead and put him on that. Post route is going to be a lot cleaner. This one is not the best. Probably want to throw it a little bit earlier, I would say. As far as some of the other things you can do, if we really wanted to, what we could do is go with something like this. Drag A, streak B, and then I can actually motion Chester Rogers over and turn him from a post into a corner route, just like here. So Derrick Henry's over there, and now you get Chester Rogers over the top. So I like motioning those corners, motioning those posts, turning them into the opposite, and that's a really good and unique way to, open them up. Again, you could also run this from the short side of the field. So if we want, let's say, a little bit more space for our corner route, and also I don't understand why the play art doesn't follow him when he's moving. It's kind of odd, but keep in mind when you do this, the wheel route will go to this side. So again, that's something that you want to know, but we could go with something like this and it would probably work well. I would assume a little curl flat to that left with the running back, and then you have your drag, you have your corner out, easy lays, rack catch up the field, spin move. So some simple stuff right there. And then the last play I wanted to mention was the PA Counter Waggle. I just like this route with Julio Jones, and again, you can do different things. Like, let's say maybe we just put X on a little slant, you motion him in, and then you actually run the play action, which does a good job of faking him in the run game. And then you have B, which of course you can hit the slant as well. Now, again, you can do a little bit more with this combo than we did there, and probably what I'm doing is maybe putting RB on the slant. And again, it's a lot of spacing, so these combos are a lot to do. But something like this, and again, you can motion Rodgers in on his slant, but Julio gets open there. Again, it's a difficult throw without Gunslinger, but with Gunslinger, it should be a lot easier to make that play. But again, this is just another play. This route's going to be good against man that you can use. And yeah, man, you can actually motion a lot of these guys on routes. If you wanted to create a 5 wide, you can motion Henry out, do something like this. I'm not sure what you guys would do, but just keep it simple, something like this, a little drag. You see, you get that little fake with the play action, throw that route. So you can just get creative with that type of stuff. And if it's I gotta have it passing down, maybe we motion out Henry, get into a 5 wide. But that's gonna do the video. If you guys want more schemes like this, drop a like, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.